Hello, my dear friends. Pull up a chair and get yourself comfortable. We are about to watch the final match of Apex Arena Season 7. So the finals between Concede and Parnhub start in about 4 minutes. Let us know in the chat if you voted for anyone. Hello there, Jason Shifley. Welcome to the chat. Hello there, Regnar. I stuck to my guns and didn't vote for anyone today. Gonna save my tickets for next time. The reason I usually do that in the finals is they're always such close matches. Like, both of these players are so good, it's hard to be able to say for sure so-and-so is gonna win. Green Winkle rocking that SR badge. Six on Concede. Yeah, I mean, Concede looks like a safe bet, right? The problem is always when, you know, there's an upset. It's always hard to tell in the finals, I don't know. Hey there, AJ, welcome to the chat. Alright, I better get myself situated here. I did see the 3.0 stuff. I'm probably going to put together a Langrisser lookout specifically about the anniversary stuff. I think there's enough in there that it warrants its own video. As long as, like, the new interface change looks fairly interesting. How it looks kind of like other gacha waifu collector type games where you pick, like, your favorite character to show on the main interface. As long as I can have my lion dancer Ledin on the front page, I'll be happy. Yeah, so that's the risk. Like, Concede is currently the favorite, so if you bet a bunch on Concede and you win, then you get some spare change. But if Parnhub wins, then you're out a bunch of money for, I don't know, the promise of some spare change. I don't know. I really like voting in the earlier rounds where there's, like, big odds upsets. Like the Snowman round, where you can put a bunch of tickets on someone who's actually a really good player and a safe bet to win, and it's just like, that's not what the odds look like. Yeah, there's definitely a lot still to be revealed, like about how those universal shards work. Can we use them on characters that we don't have yet? There's definitely going to be some more troops being revealed as well. Like, it's not just going to be those 2 troops they showed. All right, let's hop into this match. It's not in the secret realm. All right, so waiting for these players to register to join the match. And retroactive thank you for following the channel to Nixon Corral and Mr. Noodles. Possible Hades follows from last night. I was streaming Hades, my first play through that game. And obviously, many deaths were died. I'll probably be streaming again later on, because it's very fun. It's a good kind of game to just, like, play over and over again. I find it doesn't make you feel overwhelmed either by getting killed constantly or by constantly progressing through the game. It lets you have a good like sense of grounding and figuring out what's going on as you go. I'm not sure about numbers of players, AJ. Oh, my category is still Hades. On Twitch? That's weird. Let's change that. Alright, so the players have joined up, and the pick and ban is commencing. Alright, hopefully we got that category mishap, unmishapped. Thanks, Rope. Concede versus Parnhub. This is an exciting game. Alright, so Concede is banning out the Sage, first of all. We may get to see a Kyora in action. We only got to see Kyora yesterday in the first game between Zanson and Parnhub. And it looks like Albedo's not in Concede's box yet, at least. Might be a side box option. Yeah, Concede does have some good viewer-friendly heroes. Omega, always a classic. Toa will be interesting to see what he can do with Toa if that comes up. So Parnhub just opting to ban out the tank to start things off. So both players getting T-Jess out first. Yeah, Concede's box changes every round because Royley and them do a lot of research on their opponents. They have a lot of prior knowledge of their opponents anyway. I'm not really sure about the state of all the characters in Concede's box, but it kind of makes sense for a deep endgame PvP account like that to have lots of characters built. Hello there. Players definitely know each other very well. I'm not sure how well they know the Parnhub account, just because it's a new-ish playoff account. We saw yesterday they had the 5-star Leon in action. So there may be a little more uncertainty in this box as far as unit development, but we'll see. Alright, so the Kyuras are off the table for this match at least. Small's got $1 on Parnhub. This is already shaping up to be a good matchup. I really like the rush threats from Parnhub's side, and Concede definitely knows how to play against a kind of rush attack. Very similar teams, actually. Alright, Himiko comes out for that extra burst of team annoyance. And Concede getting some decent healing option from Mariel here. Mariel, of course, is obviously a threat in her own right as well. Okay, so Omega is banned out. This is the thing that scares me about pick and ban when I'm playing. Like, when it comes down to the 5th round and you've still got threats like Zerida, Reen, Kruger, and Ares on the table, like, it just goes to show how hard pick and ban is with the variety of playstyles that you can viably run now. So Parnhub is going with Zerida in 5th. There's no real impediment to her crit. But she's also not really needed to avoid guard unless Altamuller is going to bring a guard skill, which may happen. Yeah, I don't mind playing against Rush. I just don't like pick and ban against Rush. I always feel like I'm kind of on my back foot. But then you got to adapt. Okay, so Concede and Parnhub are setting up their skills and their troops right now. That should only take us a minute or so. So both teams have T-Jess, both teams have SP Elwyn, both teams have Ares. The differentiating factors are Himiko and Zerida on Parnhub's side, and SP Altamuller and Mariel on Concede's side. So Concede has a little bit more healing, a little bit more overall bulk as well. It is fairly normal at high levels, and increasingly trickling down to normal pleb levels to not have tanks. One of the problems with running tanks is there are so many units in the game now that either completely obliterate the tanks or ignore the existence of the tanks altogether, that a lot of players figure, why bother bringing tanks if they're neither surviving nor protecting your other units. So it really becomes a kind of game of positioning where you have to advance in such a way that you can keep your units out of danger of the other team's long-range units while looking for openings for yourself. Having a tank in the mix is really almost a like training wheels way of slowly moving into the middle, of moving into position while hopefully being a little bit safe from the enemy launching an opening salvo. But yeah, increasingly those tanks aren't keeping you safe, so they're becoming a bit more of a liability. This is the kind of positional opening that you're going to see more and more next season. Yeah, Concede does have a tank, it's just not one of the traditional meta tanks, so to speak. He did bring his tanking skill as well. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about endgame PvP if you're just starting out. I would say just build a box that you think works well together and just get some games under your belt and just get more experience. And the more games you play, you'll start to understand like what is the limitation of your box and what kind of things your box are good at. And then you can adapt from there as you grow as a player. But yeah, definitely in the lower and beginning levels of PvP, the only important thing is just playing lots of matches to get used to it. So we have an AoE Ares over here. We have a single target Ares on Parnhub's side. Himiko has push. She doesn't have healing technique. This is the same Zerida he was bringing yesterday, so he has Alhazard and faction buff. Fairly standard loadouts for all of these characters. So one of the ironic things, or one of the things that people often kind of roll their eyes at about this style being called Rush, is that the engagements often take longer to get into because the players are focusing so much on positioning. Thanks for the follow, by the way, Yoshi Boy. Thanks for joining the stream. Really, the core feature of Rush isn't that you launch into the game on turn 1 or turn 2 and finish it off. It's that by the time you launch your attack, your whole team is ready to pile on with follow-ups, and by the time the battle really gets into the thick of things, it should be over before too long. The battles don't really drag out too long. Like tank cluster turtle type games that stall out in the middle of the map. Rush games shouldn't end up like that. But the players will play a very careful game of chess to start. Both players will be looking for sneaky teleport options. There's no act again on either side. That's a fair point, Hasso Hempa. Right, so there's that first teleport play. So the only unit that Parnhub has to counter that right now is Himiko. With push. And Concede obviously has the option to call this off as well. He's fairly close to his own team. Still has 3 mobility, for now at least. And if he does do that, then it at least drew out Himiko's push move. It looks like he's going to go for it, though. Possibly the double attack on Himiko. So the first attack to trigger her teleport dodge, and then Muriel's follow-up attack to get her off the map. Oh, to get T-Jess off the map. Man, I always underestimate Muriel's mobility. She's just crazy. Alright, so that takes 1 threat. Yeah, that's a nice trade. Yeah, Muriel's totally gone. From Concede's side, though, I think Muriel is the least key unit for him to have alive still. So trading her for a really key unit like Tiny Jess on Parnhub side is a good trade. Alright, so Parnhub then takes that trade with his Elwyn. Himiko should be an easy kill with this AoE. Well, I guess I shouldn't say easy. He needed the Scarlet Reaper proc to finish her off. So we're still in a 1-for-1 trading situation now. Zerda is going to patiently set up. Someone in the chat can catch nature-based up on the sequence of events that led to those kills. So Concede waiting for the teleport to come back for T-Jess, which he used last turn on Mariel. Not opting to take Ares out on this turn. Probably safest. Yeah, he can use his turn priority to get at Ares with Zerida. But then he does have to watch out for another catapult combo from Concede next turn. Concede with some really nice forward pressure here as well. Alright, so that is the completion of that second trade. Now the ball is really kind of in Concede's court again. He can launch another unit in to take out one of these vulnerable units. Doesn't even need to rely on the teleport yet. He's just going to go right in with Elwyn's charge. This Elwyn doesn't have his revive right now because he's right beside Ares. And that's it. He's toast. So this is not even a true 1-for-1 trade scenario right now, unless this Ares can finish off both lives of Elwyn, which is certainly possible. Oh, it doesn't look like it. Nope. Yeah. Okay, so with that trade attempt with the Ares not working, Parnhub knew he had no way to... Oh, I guess there's only one match. I don't need to leave for this. I was reflexively going to check the other match. Okay, so it is one game for Concede, and that one did not take very long at all. Yeah, I would say even if Ares had been able to take both lives of that Elwyn, Concede still had the upper hand with potential teleport on T-Jess to bring Ultimuller in to finish off the Ares. Yeah, Greenwinkle, you gotta love that kind of psychological bully pressure of the name. Just indicating in advance what he thinks his opponents should be doing. So let's see if either player decides to change up the box. Alright, so Concede is dropping Omega for Deedlit. I think that's a good move. To be honest, I don't think we were going to end up seeing Omega in action anyway. Okay, Parnhub once again shutting out the tank first. I think Concede is very comfortable playing without his tank, so he gets rid of Tiny Jess and deploys his own Tiny Jess, kind of the key to his victory last game. Parnhub lost his early last time anyway, so we didn't really get to see what he had up his sleeve for her. Okay, so Parnhub does get to change things up a little bit and deploys Hilda first, so he is going to have a core tank. Now, we saw Parnhub playing a couple different styles of match yesterday. So we did get to see him playing a stifling tank push style game in Game 3. Yeah, Sissy would be interesting. I like seeing different characters played at this high of a level just to kind of get an idea for what they're capable of. We're not going to be seeing Kyura in action again this game, and we're not going to be seeing Toa either. Death Queen, you're technically one full game late. This is the pick ban phase of Game 2. Concede is up 1 game to nothing. It was a pretty quick one, but it was exciting. It was a good 1-for-1 trade match. Okay, Concede is slowing down a little bit. Brings Jugler, who's technically a tank, but obviously also rush capable. Rosenseal as well. a kind of beacon healer. Probably means we're not going to see Sissy White this game. Okay, so Helena is an interesting choice as a potential follow-up to a TJS teleport dog lockdown combo. She has very high range. She's quite a good bruiser. Thanks for the follow there, Adamant Snow. Welcome to the stream, welcome to the chat. Helena's also good as a Sage tile eraser, so she does kind of reduce the stalling impact that Parnhub's Sage of the Trees might have on this match. She splashes a lot of tiles around. Okay, and we are going to get to see Parnhub's Angelina in play. Yeah, I was playing a lot of Hades last night, and I was really impressed with the music, and I can't help but feel like the boss music from Hades would be a really good Langrisser Apex Arena final match music. Get some good loud bass going. Parnhub also getting Kruger out, which is an interesting pick with Rosenseal already on the field. It's going to be very tough to overwhelm her with just Kruger as his debuffer. Concede also has the option of bringing Empire faction buff on Rosenseal, which would buff Helena and Ares. So overall, I would say the pick ban favors Concede. Hey, thanks for the follow, Emerald Dragon. So these players are adjusting their skills and formation now. What do you think is the key to victory for each of these players? I think for Concede, getting through that Hilda is not necessarily going to be super problematic. He has options with Jugler's Lockdown. Ares potentially, Hilda potentially, or sorry, Helena. Parnhub does have Sage to push Jugler away if there is a lockdown situation. But he doesn't have Act Again. Actually, it looks like neither player has Act Again this match. So let's take a look at what we got here. We do have an AoE Ares. We do have the faction buff on Rosenseal. Fairly standard setup. We do have that single target Reaper on Kruger for Parnhub, but other than that, fairly standard. Rope saying Parnhub needs to find picks with the mages, but troops will deny that pretty easy. Yeah, he's definitely hoping to get at least one kill with this Kruger Reaper. Killing with magic around Jugler. Hey, Emerald Dragon rolling in heavy with the sub. Thanks, Emerald Dragon. I believe that puts you early enough to get the Sweet Sweet Founders Badge, too. First 10 people to subscribe, first 10 people to offload those free Prime subs gets a Founders Badge for the channel. Yeah, Concede was ready for the magic on the opponent's side. He doesn't really need any offensive skills on his Jugler anyway, right? He has enough other threats to do that work for him. Oh man, that badge is actually pretty cool, Dragon. And thanks for the follow, Teriador. Lots of people out today enjoying the final match of the season. I'm excited to see how much of a break we're going to get before the next season starts, because I always get rusty between seasons, but after 2 seasons of blitzing to Lang rank on the final day, I do think this is going to be the season that I actually try to intentionally set aside some time and play more. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm going to need to shake the rust off. I'll probably do some scrims with viewers some weekends. Ragnar, thanks for the sub too. Yeah, I don't see Concede making a big mistake. I don't see Concede making a small mistake, to be honest. So this is actually an uphill battle for Parnhub. I do agree with you guys. Let's see that Founders Badge in the chat, Ragnar. There it is. Thanks, man. Darth wants to scrim with Freekong. I think a lot of people would like to get a piece of Freekong. Freekong does have one Shibaraku victory under his belt, though. So again, we're seeing that classic opening positional game of chess that these players are playing. I mean, Parnhub obviously knows that Hilda is really key to him surviving this onslaught. So he's in a more traditional tank push bunch up formation. And Concede is spread out. Really, Concede wants to avoid something like Angelina coming in and blasting too many people with her AoE. She'll get an act again as well if she hits 3 people. Subscribing, is that like Patreon? In a way, I guess it is. It's kind of hard for me to explain it because I'm kind of new to Twitch streaming myself as it is. I only reached affiliate, I think I reached affiliate when I was on vacation, so I didn't even really get a chance to flex it or figure out how it works. But yeah, you can subscribe to the channel and you get certain little perks. Probably something that I have to look into, like making emotes or something like that. But it's very similar to, on the YouTube side, some of my YouTube viewers would know I have channel membership as an option. So there's a few different tiers that you can subscribe to, and you get little, different levels of, channel perks when you subscribe. Similar thing on Twitch. And thanks for the follow, IIDX Jonah. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name all as one name, but many apologies for that. Your name is awesome. I'm very intrigued to see the first move here. Something's got to break, right? Alright, and it's going to be an opening attempt with Helena splashing some tiles around the place. Lots of splashing, lots of AoE splashing going on here. And look at all this broken junk. Weapon, armor, and helmet all disabled. Accessory, armor. Armor disabled. I mean, her armor's probably last rites anyway, so it's disabled. That's just a lot of damage with that Helena. Yeah, with the multi-chat on, yeah, I've got a few people subscribed on the Twitch side. It's very similar on the YouTube side. Obviously, YouTube and Twitch subs, Twitch and YouTube both take a little chunk of the proceeds, but it's definitely more direct support than like relying on advertisers, for example. Okay, so Concede is then blasting in with Ares here, and the AoE healthily takes out a couple of units. Kruger being one of them. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so Parnhub, even with the tank, just didn't have enough to counter that big 1, 2, and 3 punch. There was a dog jump coming as well, right? So Concede definitely won that one in band pick. He loaded up his team with units that Hilda didn't matter. As long as he positioned properly in the first round and ensured himself that he had follow-up, well, we saw what happened. That, I'd say that game was even quicker than the first game, actually. I think the first game was about 20-21 minutes. Well, I suppose Pick and Ban didn't start for a couple minutes. So they were both about 15-minute matches. Wow. That is a full hour shorter than yesterday's stream. 2 quick games. 2-0 for Concede. And I think that is going to be another jewel in Royaley's crown for Apex Arena. Yeah, I'm not sure what Parnhub was going to have to do differently to win that match. I think he probably had a better chance. He probably had a better chance going with another rush attempt like he did in the first game. Well, the account isn't Royaley's account. Concede is a person who runs that account and builds those units, and oftentimes, I mean, people are cynical about this. Oftentimes at the really high levels, different like high invest accounts, like quote unquote whale accounts, will have teams of other players who play their account for them or backseat for them, which means they'll be in a chat and they'll all be working together to kind of figure out the best move and stuff. And Royley, obviously, he had his own account in the past, and he has one before. He's one of those players who's highly sought after to come in by wealthy players and help them win high-level Apex games. So yeah, Royley would have been playing on the Concede account for at least a chunk of the playoffs. I believe Hazuchio was playing earlier in the playoffs as well. Yeah, Hasso Hapa, that's a whole debate, right? About whether you're playing the game for entertainment, your own entertainment, or I don't know. I can understand why people want to do it. Personally, I would rather like fail to get far in the playoffs playing myself, just because I have fun. Like, I have fun playing. Yoshi Boy, by the way, thanks for the subscription. Go ahead and flex that Founders badge in the chat. I'm pretty sure you're still under the gun for the Founders badge. But I've had people offer to play my account even just for things like challenges, because I always complain that like I don't have time to do challenges and stuff. But to be honest, like, just my philosophy is if I don't have time to play the challenge, then I don't deserve the challenge rewards. I understand people who share accounts and stuff, though. Like, you don't want to miss out on stuff. And I would certainly never begrudge someone hiring a pilot, like, to get them to Gold 3 or whatever. Gold Magistrate. Need someone to do the challenges for you, too. Well, I will say, just because, I don't like people playing on my account to do challenges, I have definitely played on other people's accounts. Like, you saw me streaming a couple weeks ago doing Ancient Beckoning on Tristan's account. I've done Ancient Beckoning for a couple players, for a couple guildies and stuff. Especially in the wake of that Ancient Beckoning School series that I did with Professor Kyutaru. Yeah, it's kind of ironic, right? Royally still being the best player in Global, even though he doesn't have a global account anymore. But Hasso Hapa, to your point of spending a bunch of money for someone else to play the game for you, I guess it really is like, there are a lot of people who sink a lot of money into this game anyway. And it probably just feels like a drop in the bucket. Like, if you're spending money on EOL, you're spending money on, like, training materials and summoning materials, then you may as well kick a few more bucks in and get some high-level Apex materials as well, right? So I do understand it. I don't begrudge people who get pilots for whatever reason. You know, maybe you're going on vacation, you don't have time to do it. Maybe you feel like you suck at PvP and you just want to get PvP rewards. Or an especially compelling case is the gold skins. Like, Sophia's skin is so good. I fully understand people who paid their friends or paid their guildmates to get them to Gold 3 to get that Sophia skin. Gold Magistrate, how many tickets was that got you 1.5 mil? Six tickets, alright. Well, that's a pretty good return. I mean, it's in the green. Anything in the green is a good return. Yeah. Concede ended up being the safe bet there, right? Yeah, skiing is one example. I mean, especially if you think about it in a more competitive sports context, like the Olympics just concluded. If you couldn't make it to Tokyo to run in your track and field event and you hired someone else to go do the 100-meter sprint for you, I definitely don't think that would fly. But the world of video games, I mean, Langrisser definitely has esports potential, but it's not really on that kind of tier of esports. So it's a little bit more casual in terms of that kind of looseness about people playing each other's accounts. Technically, I think it is against the rules, so anything I'm saying on this stream, like, I don't know for sure who was piloting whose account, so nothing I say is gospel, obviously. But I think it's also kind of understood that Zlong doesn't really care that much. I mean, Zlong doesn't really care that much about anything about this game on the global side. People are getting just over 1.5 million gold for betting 6 tickets on Concede. So if you bought 5 tickets, that's, I think, 0.75 million gold if you actually spent the gold for 5 tickets. So double your investment if you made a safe bet there. Don't mind me doing my daily map events while we shoot the shit here about piloting and the ethical dilemma of playing other people's accounts. But for people who have to run and who don't want to stick around to chat, definitely thank you for swinging by and joining the stream. And thank you for participating in the chat. As quick as the games were, I think those were exciting matches, right? As quick as those games were, it was awesome to have you all here chatting. And I agree with the chat. I hope the break is not too long before the next season starts. I really doubt the next season is going to start next week. Maybe it will. If it does, I definitely have to dust the rust off right away. But, yeah, I want to get back into things. I have been... there was a little bit of a hoopla in main chord last night because I'm sitting on a bunch of scrolls and scroll packs that I haven't been using. Personally, I've got a little bit of a hoarder nature in these kind of games to begin with, so I like to save up all my scrolls until I really need to use them. And the next time I really need to use scrolls is the start of the Apex season. So I'm just gathering up as many scrolls as I can, and then once I've figured out what my Apex box is going to be next season, I'll go through, I'll prioritize all my equipment, and I'll probably stream this actually. I'll go through and just like enchant as much as I can. I've got almost 40 million gold here. Hopefully by the time the season starts, I'll have a little bit more than 40 million gold. And I'm just going to blow it all on enchants. Just to try to give myself... Some of my characters are well enchanted, but I'm just not sure if they're characters that I'm dropping from my box or characters that I'm going to be using. Like, I haven't pre-enchanted any Lucretia gear. I haven't enchanted Kyura's gear yet because she's not a high enough star level to actually start bringing into matches yet. So those are going to be definitely a gold sink, I think. Hasso Happa doesn't really care about the ethics. It's just doesn't really understand like why pay someone else to play. Yeah, I definitely understand that, and I'm sure, I don't know of any personally, but I'm sure there are some accounts out there that are just like shriveled husks that other people pay money into to summon, and then other people are playing. So maybe it's that kind of like team thing where everyone can contribute to the account in a certain way. Like, I don't know. I don't know any of the top whales and what they do personally, so I don't know if they're like literally just paying to summon and then having someone else come on. I don't know if it's like a one person personally doing that or what the situation looks like. Like, I don't know Concede, for example. Yeah, so Parnhub is one person who owns the account, and then whoever he hired to pilot it in these playoffs. Yeah, Greenwinkle, I can understand someone being really into PvE who doesn't like PvP and lets a friend, or even pays someone to play a little bit in Apex, but I think, like, paying someone to go all the way, like, If you're someone who's just into PvE and doesn't really care about PvP, then I think, like, trying to buy the championship is probably off the table for that kind of player, right? I was gonna say, should I summon while we're chatting? But there's no real good banner for me to summon on right now. My Ares is 6 stars. Really don't care about Maya or Nomi. And these are both 6 stars. So, gonna have to pass the time in a different way. Oh, maybe I have, yeah, I have a couple armor gambles I could do. I'm not set up to scrim personally, but if someone on my friends list wants to scrim, then I could certainly spectate it. I have 3 armor gambles left and more than enough ore, so I think I'm going to try to see if I can get... probably a Tenyo's robe would be the best thing I could pull out of this. Tenyo's robe, or maybe the new tank armor. What do you think, chat? I want one prediction. Last rites. Oh my gosh, that's a tall order, Rope. Carbon armor. There you go. That's a little bit more of a realistic guess. Curious, sadistic cat. Let's see. Is it going to be carbon armor or last rites? Goddess dress. We're leaning more to the carbon armor side in terms of quality. Okay. Bloodline. It's not awful. That's probably still a merge for me. And Balder. Okay. So nothing good. Bottom line, nothing good. What a good way to end the stream, right? Turning 900 ore into 300 ore. That's the classic Langrisser experience, right? Vortex robe. Yeah, not yet. I'm debating whether I'm going to summon on that gear banner or not. I guess it depends on how many vouchers Lucretia leaves me with. Obviously, I have... I think I have enough to get one Lucretia. At least. Having to get Lucretia and her bond unlocking servant Autocrato on the same banner is a little bit stressful, but I think I'll have like 700 summons by the time that comes around. And then after that, it's really just, if I get those characters early, then I'm just going to have some tickets that I can blow on filling in little destiny gaps. Like, I do have a few characters that I don't have. Magistrate, I'll go all out for them if I have to get them. Like Hasso Hempa says, if you want 6-star by playoffs, you do need 3 copies. Or you probably need 3 copies. But of course the question is, is Kong going to be in the playoffs? Am I going to need 3 copies? I don't know. So I'll definitely try to secure 1 copy of each. And then I have a few little Destiny characters, like I don't have Shalinka, who I need for bonds. I don't have Betty, who I don't need, but like, it's going to be hilarious to summon specifically for Betty, so I'm definitely doing that and making a video on it. And yeah, I'll definitely have some leftover tickets to spend on that gear banner. Vortex Robe I'm not as concerned about. I'd like to get 1 copy of the Healer Staff, though, so that I can justify building my Licorice. Curious Cat has had the most curious luck getting different characters dividing summons into multiple sessions. Okay, that kind of makes sense. I mean, obviously it's all RNG at the end of the day, but if you hit RNG at a good time, like if you're having bad luck, I can understand the impulse to try again later when like the stars have realigned. How many times have I pulled a GNL? I've summoned GNL twice. I don't remember. I know for sure one was not off banner, because one of the Gerald and Laylas that I summoned was during my first Summon Fest when I hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So my promised goal was when I hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I'll pull one SSR from every single active banner. And that included the hero summon, that included the gear banner at the time. So when I was summoning on the hero summon banner, that was actually where I got my Gerald and Layla. So technically not off banner, but it was kind of hilarious. Like, it was the meme in the flesh. So I have a 4-star Gerald and Layla. 0 out of 100 shards. My next Summon Fest, incidentally, is going to be at 3,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I'm at 2.74 right now. So around 200 subscribers left before we have another similar Summon Fest like that, where I'm going to have to summon off every single banner. And hopefully, like, at the time of my first Summon Fest, it was the original Ares launch banner. So it was when Ares first came out, which was fine by me. I didn't mind dumping a bunch of summons in trying to get Ares. Hello, Titty. Welcome to the chat. Thanks for the follow. So my hope is definitely going to be that when the 3,000 subscriber Summon Fest comes up, it's during a time when there's a lot of good banners so that I get, like, good characters that I'm summoning for anyway, right? Yeah, we shall see. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. At this rate, it'll probably be in a couple months. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for me for now. We are just coming up on 5 o'clock server time, so it hasn't even been an hour since those matches started yet, and I feel like they've already been over for 20 minutes. So congratulations to Concede and Concede's team. Congratulations to Parnhub as well. Getting to the top 2, your first time in the playoffs, definitely a big accomplishment. Congratulations to everyone in the top 4 that we saw streaming, playing their matches yesterday. Yeah, definitely a very exciting final. Lots of twists and turns, lots of big money made, and some money probably lost. Yeah, some interesting Kyura thrown, like a wrench thrown into the works in a couple of those matches. Not today, but... And we'll see what kind of devastation Lucretia is going to cause in the next season. So thanks for coming out and watching the stream, everyone. Always an exciting time to stream for you all. I'm going to do some Hades later on tonight to unwind with some super stressful, constant dying action game, but that'll be later on. Catch you all in the next one. Happy Langrissing, everyone.